back in it. It's Mash and Mingle for another fantastic episode of some spirits tasting. The legendary Aidan Brown, who's a longtime friend and partner of mine, going to help us through understanding a fantastic new spirit and see where the journey takes us.
Great to see you, Ben.
And you, my sir, and you. Here we are with a little sip.
Today's going to be a great episode. We've got some pretty exciting stuff on the cards. We'll start out just with one of the regulars. We're just going to talk about one of the regulars on South African bars and cocktail mixer tables and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And that is Jameson.
A classic in the South African market.
I'm not even going to bother tasting this today, and I'll tell you why. Simply because everybody's had it.
Yeah.
It's really something that everyone's familiar with on the South African market. It's been around forever. It's a really, really good value for money, and absolutely anybody can drink Jameson. It's smooth. It doesn't have any particularly bold notes in it. It's great for cocktails. You can mix it into an Irish coffee. It's good on the rocks. You can sip it neat. It's kind of one of those whiskeys that they'll keep in a little bar trolley on an airplane simply because it's good and it's for everyone.
It works, and yes, it doesn't upset anybody. You know, I was thinking about the Jameson a little bit earlier, and the Jameson that we've come to know and love, the triple distilled, is that guy who arrives at a party. He arrives on time. He tells 1 or 2 jokes. He gets along with everyone. When the party shuts down, he knows when to leave. Do you know what I mean? So that's the regular Jameson triple distill that we've come to know and love for all the years.
I would definitely agree with that. It's got somewhat of a conservative personality.
Yes.
And it's not like that mate who rocks up with a bottle of tequila or Fireball and you've got to drag them to the car at 2 o'clock in the morning. And
yeah.
You're phoning their girlfriend to come pick them up. The girlfriend's going, no, not again. What did he do this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Very much a gentleman's drink, Jameson's. Obviously, triple distilled is one of the reasons that it is so smooth. Mm-hmm. And it's a blend. And they're able to make something for a very broad set of palates, global palates. There's a reason why this is so well received by everyone. It actually is. It just really is good. But it's boring as hell, Ben.
Oh, you see, there it is.
It's boring as hell. I mean, the last time I saw this in any kind of entertaining fashion, I must have been, 18 or 19. I used to have some older friends, about a decade older than me, maybe a little bit less. And I can remember them on Sunday mornings at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when the party's finally starting to die down.
Yeah.
They used to take whole bottles, drop 4 or 5 straws in. They used to get those boxes of the bendy straws, and they used to sip it neat out of the bottle with a straw.
Some mates you can't take anyway, but yeah, it is what it is. And yes, 100%. I mean, it apparently does that for some people, an easy drinker for others. And then if you're into something that needs a bit of a mixture, a cocktail is the way to go.
No, it's good. I mean, buy this, have a bottle at home, keep it for your bar. It's for everyone. If you have a mate that dumps it into a thing of Coke or 7-Up or Sprite or whatever it is, it's not going to make you that upset.
Don't judge them.
Yeah, don't judge. I mean, it's fantastic. It's boring as hell. I'll just take that and kind of hide it away.
We'll put that away.
Now.
Okay.
But while we're talking about that,
yes.
I'm going to introduce something that's going to be a little bit controversial.
Okay, we like a bit of controversy over here.
And it's this. I would love to recommend to people to take a bash at this. It is much cheaper than Jameson's.
Yes.
It's super, super smooth. It's got a great flavor profile for what it is. I mean, bear in mind, this is a 200 Rand bottle, 220, 230 Rand by the Pick and Pay. And if you like Jameson's and that's the kind of thing you enjoy drinking, don't be a snob. Buy a cheaper bottle of Paddy's and give it a shot. It's a blend as well, like Jameson's. It's got some pot stills in. It's got some grain whiskies in. It's truly fantastic. And it's so cheap that you'll actually think it's not good. Like, it can't be this good for the money. But honestly, truly pleasant. It's the one bottle of cheapy that I always keep at home. It definitely has its place in the liquor cabinet.
Fantastic. Well, definitely we can give that a whirl. And if it does everything that Jameson does and then some, then absolutely. And I guess it also has most of Ireland's name on the front there. So you can't get it wrong, you know?
But we've got to talk about the star of the show, Ben.
The Mac Daddy.
The big guy. Boom.
All right, there it is. So we spoke a little bit about Jameson. So this is the big brother to Jameson, the Select Reserve, the guy who might wear a bit of a suit and tie from time to time. Is this who we're speaking to then?
It's just a fantastic bottle, this Ben. I didn't want this bottle to be this good. That's the truth, because I'm a little bit of a snob, and I thought to myself, it's Jameson's. Yeah. If you buy Jameson's, you just buy the triple distilled. You don't play around with the other stuff. You know, Someone bought this for me as a gift, and I cannot tell you how happy I've been.
Okay.
Truly, truly a remarkably good bottle. It has all the same notes and qualities of a normal Jameson. That smoothness, that balanced flavor profile, the packaging's fantastic, the color of the product, nice, deep, rich color. But it has just an extra layer of something special in it. Heavily charred barrels. And that's what they use to bring out that extra flavor.
Okay, is that sort of the selection, if we say select reserve, is that where it sort of goes from sort of public school to private school, if you will?
100%. This thing's been Woolworths. It is just a truly fantastic flavor profile. What happens is in the global whiskey producing industry, they have a scale, I think it's 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. 1 being very lightly charred, and then 5 or 6 being the most heavily charred that you can get in a barrel.
Okay.
And when I talk about a char, they actually call it at 1, it's called toasting. They toast the barrel. So they have these big jet flames that they blast into the wooden barrels.
And it sort of spins around. You have this incredible flame on the inside.
Yeah, and it just toasts. So you can lightly toast the inside. That'll have an impact on the flavor. It'll give a lightly toasted flavor.
Got you.
And you can go all the way to what they call deep char. There's a company in South Africa called Pienaar and Son's Distilleries. I am dying to try out 2 whiskeys of theirs. They call it Tiny Batch Whiskey. It's a South African distillery, Pienaar and Son. Do yourself a favor. Go have a look at their website. They're making amazing stuff. Beautiful. But
we're coming to visit you soon.
I'm super keen to do a show on that. And at the moment, they have 2 tiny batch whiskeys, like the Japanese whiskeys that come, I think, in 500 ml bottles.
Yes.
And they have what they call a light char and a heavy char. And the same way that Pienaar and Sons are charring their barrels, these guys are doing the same.
Okay, fantastic.
I don't know how charred they're doing. I would guess it would be something around a 3 or a 4 would be my guess. I actually don't know. Definitely charred, not toasted. So it's somewhere past 3.
Okay. What I'd be interested to hear is, I mean, we've spoken a little bit about whiskeys that are slightly smokier, and now we've spoken about a char, we've spoken about peated whiskeys. What's the difference between a peated whiskey versus something that's been charred in that barrel?
Well, in general, there's 3 major ways that whiskey companies impart a smoky flavor or a charred or toasted flavor on whiskeys. You can have peated whiskey, which is very common for the Scottish producers because peat, which is actually an organic substrate, it's almost like a kind of soil that builds up in the ground over a very, very long time. And what they do is they will then treat this peat, they'll smoke it, for example, or whatever process it goes through. And what they'll do is they'll filter their whiskey through the peat. They'll actually pour it and it'll filter through that peat. It'll both filter out some of the nasty, more pungent alcohol flavors. And at the same time it's filtering those flavors out, it's then imparting the flavor of the peat. The other 2 ways that you can impart a smoky or a charred or toasted flavor is, one of them is what Jack Daniels do, where they actually take charcoal, a very, very high quality custom made charcoal, and they will pour the whiskey through the coal. Old number 7 gets poured through once and gets a certain flavor, a kind of boldish flavor. Gentleman Jack, they filter it twice. That's why it's a little bit smoother. They pour it through the charcoal second time and it removes more of those pungent flavors, makes it a bit smoother, imparts a little bit of that toasted, charred smokiness.
Got you.
Then the last way that you can get of the 3 is to toast the barrel itself or char the barrel itself. And these guys are doing the same. Big jet blaster. Blast the inside of that barrel out until they're happy with the amount of char. They might even do a range of char, say 1,000 barrels with the light char, 1,000 with the medium, and then they blend to get the more complex flavors.
Okay, fantastic. Cool. So, I mean, we know little brother now, we've stepped it up again. We've gone to private school. We've got something that's a little bit smoother, maybe a little bit more sophisticated. It's gone through a slightly different process. You still get certain individuals who'd want to pair this with, God forbid, a grape tizer or a Fanta grape. How do we consume this to maximize the flavor and the enjoyment process?
For me personally, if you're going to mix it with a Fanta grape, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to drink like that and that's how you get pleasure out of socializing around a pour with your mates or your family, so be it.
Sure.
Having said that, if that is the kind of thing that you'd like to do, I'm just going to introduce my friend back here, 200 Rand a bottle, because this thing makes an amazing mixer. It mixes really, really well. It's like you don't need to buy 1,000 Rand bottle of brandy for a brandy and Coke. So if you like a whiskey and Coke, really consider something like this. Consider buying something that's actually made for mixes that will actually mix fairly well. So for me, you're going to lose a lot of the value if you mix this with Coke, or if you mix it into a cocktail. There's a good chance that you're going to lose the flavor profile a little bit. So I might suggest something like that. Having said that, if you buy it and it's your bottle and you want to mix it with Fanta Grape, by all means, go and do that. But you might have some friends or family that may want to lynch you if it's their bottle.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
completely. But we know who those people are. We shan't name them, and we won't name and shame. But yeah, let's try this guy out and see what the big brother has to say.
I don't feel the need to cut this down with water or anything like that. I think at 43, it's well mixed for the market.
Yeah, see, somewhat of a familiar smell. I think it still has a smell that's carried through the Jameson range. I think the triple distilled is almost a slightly sweeter smell. The sweetness is knocked out over here a little bit.
Yeah, you're 100% right. What happens is you get a little bit of the push from the charring. You get a little bit of a smoky push and almost an old, someone hasn't cleaned their bry.
Yes.
Like a little bit of a whiff of that. And it's actually still nice. Like, I even like that kind of day-old bry smell. It's a little bit funky, but I kind of enjoy it.
No, it tells a story, and I think that's what you're getting out of this.
You get that nice, sweet, vanilla nuttiness that you get from Jameson with that layer of smokiness, and it comes right off the nose. You don't even have to taste it. I can smell it's in there.
All right, just give it a smell.
Oh, that's truly fantastic. Me, I actually said to somebody in a bottle store in Norman Goodfellows, so we're in this bottle store and he wanted to buy a whole case of Johnny Walker Blue. It's a corporate guy for gifting. And I said to him, save your money, buy a case of this. Yeah. I said, buy 3 times the quantity and give to more people. It'll be a better deal for everyone around. And I truly mean it. For the amount of money, I mean, if you're going to buy a blend, like, this is value. Yeah. Johnny Walker Blue is one of those overpriced, very underwhelming. Save yourself the 3,000 hints. Just get yourself a bottle of this. Look, the flavor profiles aren't comparable. Mm-hmm. But if you want an amazing pour for your money, this is something like this is it.
Okay, fantastic. No, I'm thoroughly enjoy it. Also, I'm fairly familiar. I've had the opportunity to sip this once or twice before. So, yeah, a firm favorite. And then obviously when the budget allows, when you're not having the regular Jameson, then, yeah, extend yourself and treat yourself a little bit to the Select Reserve.
Yeah, look, it definitely has spicy notes on the back end of the palate. So it doesn't just have that smokiness that comes through in the middle. You're definitely getting a spicy complexity. I get almost a hit of pepper on the tongue, where it almost activates your tongue with a little bit of like electricity. Like
a bit of a zing, a bit of a tingle there.
Like you bit a peppercorn by mistake. Something, you're one of those chunks that didn't make it to the grinder quite nicely. Yeah. And I would absolutely highly recommend this bottle. The Jameson range in South Africa is amazing now. They've introduced 2 other bottles which are completely unique, and we're going to get into those in an upcoming episode. These guys, charred barrel, 2 beautiful. Congratulations to them. They've done an amazing job with that. And the next bottles that we'll do in one of our upcoming episodes, beer barrels, Ben.
Okay, so this is where and I've seen this on the shelf, it's the IPA and the cask mate, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm super excited for that episode. It'll be coming up really shortly. And I'll tell you why, because in South Africa, we're beer drinkers. We have a palate for beer. All of our cultures drink beer. It doesn't matter what shade you are, what religion you are, what culture you are. For the most part, we enjoy a good pint. SA Breweries is among the best producers in the world, if not the best. We get an amazing range in South Africa, and I think that those Jameson bottles will be a great departure for beer drinkers into the world of whiskey, because you're going to get some of those flavor profiles. But that's for another episode.
Oh, happiness. Well, yeah, I'm super chuffed with this and look forward to the rest of the family's offerings. But as always, look, if you're going to be consuming alcohol, regardless of where you are, make sure that you're doing it in a safe environment. If you're traveling, book an Uber, book some sort of transportation, get someone to be the dedicated driver. There are many ways to be safe and responsible without ruining the evening or putting in jeopardy other people's lives.
Thank you very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share. And please look out for our upcoming giveaways, which will be happening really shortly. In the next couple of episodes, we're going to start to give away some amazing bottles to people that like, subscribe, and share. Part of our surprise giveaways in the very near future. Thank you so much for joining us. Be safe. I'm Aidan. This is Ben. Ciao for now.